Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. So welcome to another episode of Climb to Master. Obviously we're doing a little bit of a different one. This is a replay. Now I will say I was supposed to do this game in a POV commentary. I was just about to record it. I opened the footage and it's corrupt. So it doesn't happen much. Like honestly, I can't really remember the last time that happened. Maybe about a year ago, but it does, unfortunately. So I thought this game was still worth showing. You know, the video title that I think I'm going with is like my biggest carry performance ever on brand or something like that. Because, honestly, it might be. So we're the Draven. So the Draven was in the game that I played before this, but he was on the enemy team. And I think... Was he on the enemy team? He might have been on my team. I don't remember. But I had two of the same... This Draven twice in a row. He wasn't bad, but I think people know my philosophy when it comes to Draven or something like that is I'm not a big fan of it. I just, for the life of me, can't quantify picking something like Draven. Now, one funny thing that did happen is I think, and in Champ Select, which I normally never do, I actually said to the Draven when he hovered it, I was like, can you pick a scaling AD carry? And he said Draven does scale. Now, clearly, we all know that Draven doesn't scale. The way that you have to really play Draven is... the only way he scales, and it's not really scaling, is you have to stomp lane, make the other AD carry basically useless, and then technically you're doing better than the opponent AD carry. So, yeah. We're against a Yasuo with an Alistar combo. Obviously, quite a good combo. We were actually blocking the Alistar from getting to lane there. So, you know, he did... kind of take a bit too much free damage there. Probably a bit of frustration not being allowed to get into lane. But Brand. Why did I play Brand? Well, clearly a bit of a pattern that's happened recently. You know, we've been kind of bouncing in Diamond 2 to Diamond 3. I believe this game... I think we were in Diamond 2 in this game. Maybe we're getting back into Diamond 2. Again, it's a bit foggy, to be honest. But I've been having some issues... I've been having issues like if I'm mid lane, my bot lane will feed. If I'm bot lane, my mid lane will feed. Or if I'm bot lane and I'm playing like a Leona, which I still think is good, my AD carry might not be great, and I just feel like I need to have better carry presence. So this game was basically a gloves off. I'm playing Brand literally just to carry. Like I'm just doing it so I can basically be the carry. So Alistar goes for an aggressive flash, but then badly, as you saw, he didn't get behind the Draven. So I actually pick up first blood there. Maybe, you know, you would like the Draven to get it, but it is what it is. As that was overall quite a poor play by Alistar. He goes for a flash play. He was looking to W the Draven back closer to his own tower and just didn't have the range to do it. Meanwhile, Tryndamere in top lane does get a solo kill on the Jax. Which, you know, in the early game, should a Tryndamere really be killing a Jax? Especially that this Tryndamere doesn't have Ignite. He's running Ghost Flash. Probably not. I do get a nice little combo there, by the way. Draven going for a kill, gets exhausted, and with that has no thingy, no damage. And then I go close to the tower to try and finish the Yasuo off. But alas, I got tower aggro because, oh, my dot was on him. Luckily for me, I only get executed. Unfortunately, obviously, Draven got killed by an enemy champion. But it was an Alistar. So not a great situation, a little bit tilting there, but... it is what it is. Just pointing out, yes, it is a Gragas mid lane. I have no idea why someone's playing Gragas mid. I think people have seen and known me saying, not... I like Gragas. I actually think he's a pretty good champion, but playing him full AP, I think is actually a weaker play style for Gragas. I think playing tanky than AP is much better. Kind of the same as Cho'Gath, really. Like, it's kind of that same philosophy, is you can do much, much more as a Cho'Gath building tank, and then a bit of AP rather than full AP. And clearly, if you're playing Gragas mid, you're going to probably build full AP. So, yeah, I just think he struggles in modern-day League of Legends to be a AP carry. Again, it's kind of like the Ezreal philosophy, but maybe even harder for a Gragas. You need to play perfectly to be useful as AP Gragas. You can't make one little mistake, because you could literally muck up the whole team fight with your ultimate. For one, you can spread out the enemy team, and that could be really bad. And also, building full AP when you're, let's be honest, he's a melee champion in essence, is very vulnerable. You could just get killed. So the enemy team does have an Evelynn. Pretty much every Evelynn. Nice little damage there. Get a double W. Really good there. Pretty much every Evelynn in solo queue that I always see, they always get fed. I will stand by that principle of name a champion that gets fed every game in solo queue, Evelyn. They just do. You know, every Evelyn nearly gets the kill. I get the kill the dot, so that was really nice. The Draven gave a little bit extra damage. Shame he didn't get the kill, but my dot, my passive that was on the Yasuo at the time, managed to finish off that. Unfortunately, my stun misses there, because if that stun hit, that might have been close, but I did get another Dark Harvest stack. So far, so good. We're doing okay in bot lane. We are technically winning the early game. Yes, we would like Draven to have a kill by now. But, you know, the first one, you could say that could have gone for Draven. But at that point, it's, you know, that wasn't a big deal. It was level 2, I believe. And Draven hasn't, you know, by that stage, he didn't have a lot of stacks for his Adoration, I think it's called, or Aberration. So, like, that's not a big deal. Gank coming through, so Evelyn coming bot lane. I'm going to do my best just to stop them, but I just unfortunately do miss. I'm going to just keep running forward. They are, obviously, as you can see, they're clearly trying to give the kill to a Draven, and I will end up surviving. Now, something very weird happens here. So you can see Yasuo's health. Not really sure what he's doing. I actually misplay it a little bit, but I actually do manage to kill the Brand. Sorry, I do manage to kill the Yasuo. Maybe I didn't even need to flash there, and if I actually hit the Q, I don't even know if I would have needed to ignite. Clearly just a very bad misplay by the Yasuo. But yeah, get another Dark Harvest stack, by the way, on Evelyn there. So right now, we are only 6 minutes into the game, and I have 6 Dark Harvest stacks. That is it's a very good ratio, it, you know, has to be said. I'm just pulling the minions away from the tower just so Draven can get them. And that will be that. So gold-wise, I imagine I've got probably a lot of gold. Yeah, I've got 1,500 gold for a support in the early game. That's quite good. This is a bit of an overstay. I do get a nice stun. Unfortunately, I didn't have any mana to use my W. Dinah's doing her best, though. She gets 1 kill. Viger's in the area. I get drive-by ulted by him. And his Predator's going to keep his movement for a double kill. And then Draven, you know, a little bit of sloppy play there. He walks into the Viger cage, literally. He does get 1 kill, which is nice, but that should have been a double kill. Unfortunately, he literally just walks into the Viger cage as it was disappearing. Now, one thing I said straight away is, why is he overstaying? Evelyn, for whatever reason, I don't know why, she has a regen mechanic as an assassin, so, you know, she's regened over half health. Draven can't get that kill anymore. Alistair also isn't, you know, gets back to the lane. So I don't know why the Draven decided to overstay in that situation. That was just clearly a bad call from the beginning of that play, but it is what it is. So far the game, you know, it's relatively even right now. Technically, us in blue team, we're ahead in gold, believe it or not, even though we're a kill behind. That would be farm differences. So Gragas, because Viger roamed, Gragas has got a 10 CS lead. We have a bit of a CS lead in bot lane, even though, again, Trindamir's got a CS lead in top. It's very close. It's getting even more even right now. But yeah. So anyway, let's go back on meat. So one thing I will say about Brand, would I recommend something like Brand if you are looking to carry games as a support in solo queue? I'd say yes and no. You know, this game, is this game good for a Brand comp wise? Yes and no. Again, it's really good for something like a Diana, that if Diana sucks people in, Brand ult and AoE can absolutely go wild, but then the opposite exists for the Gragas. So the Gragas could literally screw a Brand completely if the Gragas isn't careful with his ulti. So you are seeing I'm looking to be a little bit aggressive here. Basically, I'm just trying to push the Alistair away, thinking that we could do Dragon. Draven has started it, and Diana is not here yet. She does decide to do red buff first. I did think this was like a good window, by the way, to do the Dragon. But yeah, also I just say, excuse my attire, by the way. Yeah, it's quite hot here in the UK and in my room, so that's why. And you're probably going to see more of the arms, you know, in the coming months. I am finally working on my arms now because I've never really worked on them before, so hopefully you'll see improvements as time goes on. But yeah, I actually hit 2 PBs today in my gym session. I'm recording this on the Saturday. You're getting this as the second video today. But yeah, I hit a PB in squat and I hit a PB in bench press. As you guys might know, bit tangent, but nothing's happening in the game. Deadlift is my strength. It's the one I've worked on the most. It's my 200 kilo lift. So we are working on basically building the strength of the other powerlifting categories to maybe not match my deadlift, but like at least be competitive with it on parallel. And it's going pretty well. My squat is getting up there really fast. bench press is definitely my weakness at the moment, but it is getting there. We'll be at triple digits kilo very, very soon, hopefully, with bench press, you know, this year, hopefully. And yeah, squat, to be honest, I'll probably be able to match my deadlift in the fairly near future, so that's good too. Anyway, Draven decides to go back. Now, one thing I will say, and it's been a little thing of a frustration of mine also when I see Dravens. I have no idea what the ultimate was, by the way. So many Dravens, and I'm not just saying this guy. The amount of Dravens that I see play passive in the early game, it really does confuse me. I've also seen Lucians play passive. Just like, I really need to drill that point home. If you're playing one of these early game AD carries, you are not inting, but like you are doing really bad if you are playing passive in the early game. That is your strength. It's like a Renekton playing passive against pretty much anything in top lane in the early game. You don't do that. You have to build the advantage. And right now, if you look in bot lane, we don't have an advantage, really. We're even on farm. Yasuo, yes, there's been a lot of kills and assists flowing around, but we should not be even with a Yasuo. Yasuo clearly outscales a Draven. The advantage that Draven has over a Yasuo is obviously range versus melee. Meanwhile, Evelyn's bot lane again, and yet she basically one-shots the Draven. Very fair. I'm going to try just do as much damage as I can. I'm going to try and survive. So I do end up surviving, and I actually end up killing the Yasuo. So that's the second time I've killed this Yasuo under a tower situation or near a tower situation when a gank has happened. So this is the thing. This is the little difference that I'm making of this isn't going great. The Draven is not great. He was a Draven one trick from memory, but again, that very, very often that actually matters. He's not having a great game, so I'm having to try and make up for that. So those little kills that I'm getting on Yasuo, it's helping a lot, because what that does, if, oh, Yasuo kills Draven, or Yasuo is involved in a kill on Draven, and then he stays alive, and then he can get more XP, he can get more farm, and my Draven gets outscaled, well, he's going to just get really far behind quite quick. So I'm killing a Yasuo, and it stops him exponentially getting really far ahead. Enemy team looking very aggro here, by the way, so they're invading, they have clear priority, and lo and behold, if you look at bot lane on the minimap, the Draven is not bothered. This is what confuses me about these type of players. I'm even pinging Draven ultimate. Maybe you could just at least throw your ultimate to help. He's not interested. I don't know why Dravens are so weirdly passive. And again, Dravens, the mindset that I've always put with a Draven is get kills. Early game kills. So a whole massive team fight is happening, and Draven doesn't run over for it. It's just bizarre to me. So you can see the enemy team, incredibly aggressive playstyle is happening. So Alistar's going by himself like quite a lot. Draven's a bit out of misposition. We are going to die. Draven gets his first kill, and that will be that. Tryndamere also killing the Jax. Very low health is the Evelyn, so unfortunately we don't kill her. But yeah, so the enemy team is just getting away with it right now. You know, it's unfortunate, but it happens. So tower plate's going down. Yasuo's getting a couple, which is always going to be nice. Again, bonus gold. Diana's going to go bot lane. Doesn't look she's going aggressive on him. She's just stopping him getting more plates. Tryndamere, though, clearly winning top lane quite easily. And also just getting a lot of plates. So that's a very rich Tryndamere. Let me know what you guys think of Tryndamere. Oh, he is, again, historically and statistically, whenever polls have happened, he is one of League's most hated champions. And again, I think most people, even if you like Tryndamere, I think people can understand why he's relatively hated. The fact that he is just a complete stat check champion that right clicks and that's it, like, that is just a level of frustration for a lot of people. Because it is frustrating, you know, there's no doubt. Gragas going for a combo. I'm in the area. I was kind of waiting to see where he'd pop out, and he does pop out in an okay position. I get the shutdown, and you might be thinking, oh, Huz, you should give that to Gragas, or you should give that to Diana. Again, there's always the maybe, but I would just say, obviously, keep watching the game, and I'll also show you guys the damage done at the end of this game. Again, I will remember to do that. Looking for the Astro. Again, look at this. Big old damage. Unfortunately, I whiffed my ultimate, but I nearly killed their Yasuo as the support. Diana's doing a big work, by the way, actually fighting a 2v1. No idea how she actually won that, but that's just Diana for you. And that's going to open up the second dragon for us. So that's actually a really good situation. I bully the ass away from the fight. Alistair died before the fight. Viger obviously died before the fight technically here too. So that was just overall a good situation. Diana also... Oh, no, wait. Alistair didn't. Viger died before Diana killed Evelyn and Alistair together. So, really good. You know, it's a bit of a nice little turn for us. We get a tower in bot lane. Draven's obviously farming, which is not a bad thing. Unfortunately, we have this situation happening, though. And, you know, it was in the back of my mind. I'm like, do we have anything that deals with a Tryndamere? Technically, Jax might be able to, if he plays it well. But he is clearly a little bit behind. The Tryndamere also, you'll notice, has gone Gale Force Tryndamere this game. So Jax is still clearly trying to fight the Tryndamere, which is... I don't know if he should at this stage, because he has a mythic item, you don't. But Gale Force Tryndamere obviously exists to give him that extra mobility. That, you know, it's not like Tryndamere is lacking mobility. He's running Ghost Flash. He's got an E. He also has a slow involved in his kit. But obviously Tryndamere, his main weakness is he just right-clicks. He just auto-attacks things. So he really needs to make sure he can auto-attack things. And that is obviously what Gale Force is also giving him. So we are looking for the Yasuo here. We're 3-man committing for this, which I will say 3-man committing for 1 kill is a bit desperate, but desperate times cause desperate effects. So you'll notice I am leaving this because I'm like, I don't want to get the kill. And because I leave to let someone else get the kill, Draven dies. Like, that's been the main issue is, you know, some people could have a criticism going, Huz, stop taking kills. I've had to because, you know, I don't know if it's shown this much in this replay, but playing with this Draven, he's really weak. Like, he's doing nothing at the moment. And, like, again, that's the point, is he's doing nothing in the point or the part of the game where Draven is supposed to excel. So that ain't good. Enemy team is looking to do a bit of a grouping. I don't know if they're going to fully attack the tier 2. They might try. And close cage there. Unfortunately, I missed my, you know, spell initially. Viger going aggressive. I ulti as just a defense. Do a bit of damage to him. Get him close to half health, which is not bad. That's a big deterrent. Diana going quite aggro. With combining, obviously, my damage, Diana's going to get on a rampage there. Unfortunately, Draven doesn't get it. But, well, I say unfortunately. I think it's actually fortunately. Because, again, Draven has had his time and he hasn't used any of it. So, give kills to the Diana who scales. Give kills to the Brand who scales much better. I don't think that's a negative, technically, if you're looking at the bigger picture. So, I don't know why, but Draven also decided to go very aggro in the enemy territory. Doesn't kill the Alistair, and Evelyn was in the area. Also, Draven did blow exhaust there, and, yeah, not great, but it happens. I know it probably sounds like I'm giving this Draven a hard time. I'm not trying to. It's just Draven. It's the champion more than anything else. Like, I don't, you know, this player I'm not saying is a bad player. I just think the champion, you're limiting yourself so much on Draven. It's the philosophy of what I've always said of I do not play early game champions because of this exact situation. Enemy team going aggressive. I am in, like, the area, so I'm going to go big damage. Unfortunately, Diana gets exhausted, so her big damage has been stopped, because that in essence is what exhaust can do, and that's another 2 death from us. So it's really not looking great. This Yasuo, yeah, I'm not really sure. So that's my, I think, third solo kill on the Yasuo this game as the support. And let's be honest, most of it, meanwhile, I get one shot by an Evelyn, so that was fun. Interactive gameplay right there. In essence, I think it's been the Yasuo making mistakes, giving me the kills, rather than me playing that well. So Jax is looking for a kill on Viger. He gets hit by the cage, gets hit by the Everfrost, but he did pop his ultimate in time, which, if you guys remember, is a resistance ulti. Jax even goes for the ignite, but he's doing that little damage right now that, you know, and then he walks into the cage. So this Jax is just having a terrible game. He's built Hullbreaker first item, which... I'm going to be honest, I was getting actually a bit excited recently that I was like, oh, is the Hullbreaker meta finally dead? Not every top laner is buying Hullbreaker. And it does seem that that is true. Not every top laner is buying Hullbreaker anymore, like they were a couple weeks ago. But they, you know, this Jax is. And I've always explained the point. If you are losing lane, the worst item to buy is Hullbreaker. Because Hullbreaker, I know it's technically cost efficient if you're still grouping. But it is a split push item. That's the philosophy that you want to do to maximize the item is I want to split push. Well, if you're losing your 1v1 already, then your whole philosophy of why you've bought the item doesn't work. You're not winning your 1v1. Like, don't get me wrong, I think a Jax can beat a Tryndamere in a 1v1 eventually. Meanwhile, we're having a potential fight with the old Trindy here. Big damage. Boom. Get a kill on Tryndamere. He has ultimate up, by the way. You can see that top right of your screen. So getting that is fantastic. Tryndamere didn't press R. And this, by the way, is all happening. Nice Zhonya's by Evelynn. This is all happening, just the dragon is up, the Infernal. This is potentially our 3rd dragon. We've got now priority in the area. Now, kinda. We get that kill on Tryndamere, which is good, but this still makes this situation actually a 4v4. Why? Because, and we do get it, it makes the fight a 4v4 because the Jax is top lane. We are doing okay work here, though. I'm alive, apparently. Did have got a lot of damage. Evelynn never committed to the fight. I will say that a big negative of Evelynn, even though she gets fed in most games I've ever seen her, Evelynn players are insanely KDA warrior, insane KDA warrior players. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, particularly for Evelynn. The reason why they're KDA warriors, more than practically any other champion in the league, they buy Medjais every single game. So if you're a Medjais purchaser, if you die, you lose so much, gold value from a death with Medjais. That's why they're KDA, or that's why they're KDA hungry, KDA warriors, whatever you want to say. Jax just killed Tryndamere in the 1v1, by the way, under his own tower. So that shows that's a good situation. Jax, obviously, confidence to do that was absolutely mad. He's obviously split pushing. Like, again, as I said, he's bought Hullbreaker. That's the mentality of what this guy wants to do. He does obviously get killed in the end, but to be honest, the job that he did there was actually pretty good. He got his first kill of the game. He was 0-4 before that. He nearly kills the tower, got a solo kill on Tryndamere. So none of those things are bad. That's actually pretty good going. As I said, Jax does scale. It's just he had a terrible early game. Which, I know Tryndamere in lane phase, there is obviously the RNG element of Tryndamere. Does he get an early crit? That one early crit can make all the difference. Wild ultimate by Gragas. I know what he was going for. Weirdly, the enemy team, they're looking for a duo. Good Zhonya's again. They're looking for a pick situation with an Evelynn and an Alistar. Diana doing her best to do what she can, but unfortunately just gets killed. Gets CC'd by the Alistar, so unfortunate there. We are looking for the Alistar, and you'll notice one thing that I do here. I'm looking for the Evelynn. I walk away. I'm like, screw that. And, Veigar is there, but it's 2v1. I'm looking for the Evelynn, and she one-shots me. Evelynn to me has never felt incredibly fair. The fact that she can one-shot you without using the charm, which is a big part of her mechanic, it's always felt weird to me. Unfortunately, she kills a Gragas before he can get any damage off. So, really annoying, but that's Evelynn. That's what that champion does. Let me know what you guys think of Evelynn, because, we said earlier that a lot of people don't like Tryndamere. Again, a lot of people don't like Evelynn too. Basically, look at the Jax damage, by the way. One bangs the Tryndamere without losing too much health. Tryndamere is in trouble. Unfortunately, I would say Jax walks away too much. He does get the Ignite off, but that's not going to kill the Tryndamere. So he walked away a little bit too much, and that's what cost him the kill. But again, it is showing that Jax's strength is getting there. It's just taken a while. And clearly, Hullbreaker, obviously, as we've said, does give you that 1v1 strength. He's gaining 40 armor and magic resist, when he's by himself. That's a lot, that's tanky. And he's doing damage with the item. He's doing damage with Divine. That's a lot of split pushing strength. Tryndamere doesn't have that. Maybe the Tryndamere should match the Hullbreaker. Maybe that's not a terrible idea for the Tryndamere this game, because both of them want to split push. You're not having a Tryndamere wanting to group. That doesn't exist, really. But anyway, the game itself still is not too bad. So yes, we're down 5 kills. Come on, Gragas gets the nice barrel. I will pop my ulti. I'm Zhonyazing. The Evelynn is in the area. We do end up killing bad ult by Evelynn, actually. Nice dodge there by Diana. Just stopping the Yasuo get to us with a big combo. Draven's fighting the Evelynn. He's going to do his best, and he does get it with Collector, so that's good. Gragas finishes off the Yasuo that was low from my combo. And in essence, everybody, if you look what just happened, we just want to fight. And I would say a lot of that was thanks to the Diana surviving the Evelynn, which was huge. This Evelynn used her combo in a Zhonya's. And, well, I think, yeah, it was technically in a Zhonya's. So that's a really big situation. So very well played by my team. The one thing I will give my team, even though when I show you guys the damage later in the game, and, there is a pretty clear picture when it comes to the damage done, my team didn't give up. This game was going really bad, and, it's very easy, or, you would kind of expect in modern day League of Legends. Meanwhile, you can see a TP by Veigar's happening here. It's very normal in League of Legends to see one of your teammates just completely mental go boom. It happens all the time. I'm not really sure why the Veigar was going for this play, because if I'm completely honest, I am going to die to him. but like he's actually kind of not incredibly strong. I end up getting the kill. Gragas is gonna get it, but I end up getting it with my dots. Jax is taking a blue. Always good to take, you know, jungle or anything away. And you can actually see the minions are starting. Meanwhile, you saw Evelyn. The Jax is just a little bit in danger, but he's okay. The minions will potentially get this if the enemy team don't deal with it. Unfortunately, though, the dragon is coming up. I forgot actually to put the timers on. My bad. Wrong thing. That thing. So they actually do get it, which also was an objective. And this is a disaster for us. The fact that there's a big team fight, I'm not there for AoE, Draven, you know, who else wasn't there? Someone else wasn't there. That's not good. I don't think... No, Diana was out of position. Diana went around to kill the dragon. It got killed a lot quicker than she thought. So Diana was out of position and I wasn't there. Arguably a big part of our, you know, AoE team fight. So not good. That was the enemy's first dragon. Alistar I did spot in a bush, by the way, down there. He is looking... I ult the Tryndamere, by the way, just do a bit of extra damage on him. He is going to get killed. I get the Q, apparently. I do not know why. The enemy team is really overstaying here. So we're doing a bunch of damage. Gragas double kill. Well done to him. And there you go. So not really sure what's happening. Enemy team make a huge mistake overstaying in that situation. So they had prio. They got the dragon. You could even argue they're going to start getting a bit of momentum swing. And then they throw it all away by 3 of them dying. And it's like, that's a bit weird. So now with our pressure, we are barreling down mid lane to see what we can do. You can see Evelyn is there. I did, by the way, for those that are wondering, I put a pink ward on us. Just to say, like, again, really nice play. Get the Evelyn outplayed her a bit there. Pink ward is a counter to Evelyn. So when you are sieging a tower, just as a tip, if people go like, dude, how do you actually deal with Evelyn? That champion is insane. Pink wards. Pink wards are your best friend because, again, in these situations, you know Evelyn, like, it's not rocket science. It's the same as a Fiddlesticks when he's looking for an ultimate. He's going to be looking over a wall 9 times out of 10. Evelyn's the exact same, that she's predictable. Like, if you're sieging this tower, what direction is Evelyn going to attack you from? It sure as hell is not going to be the front direction. That's not what Evelyn does. It's going to be behind you. So if you put, meanwhile, Diana, she doesn't ulti, unfortunately, but she's 4v1, so she's going to die. But yeah, if you put, when you're sieging this type of tower, put a pink ward down here, and then you're getting the actual vision in the area, so you know when Evelyn's coming in. Just a little tip for you guys, because again, I do see, you know, Evelyn's, I've said, you know, a few times this commentary, I see Evelyn's getting fed pretty much in every single solo queue game that they're in. There's a reason for that. It's because people don't play smart against an Evelyn. Yes, I would say Evelyn is a strong solo queue champion, but there is part that you can do to kind of counter that too. So just worth mentioning at the moment, we have been involved in 23 kills out of 30 so far as support brand. Highest kill participation in the game by far, for both teams, to be honest. Evelyn, I think, might be the closest matching. Maybe the Diana. Both junglers are doing okay as well. But yeah, still not close to me. You know, I'm by far the highest in kill involvement in this game. So Jax is doing a split push thing, which again is good. And this is really confusing me because they're matching the Jax with Yasuo and they're making a Tryndamere group. That's not really what you're supposed to be doing. So Jax, you know, again, it's tilt play, not thinking, you know, name anything above. He's just split pushing for the sake of split pushing now. He's not thinking about why he's doing it, when he's doing it. He's split pushing when we don't have put pressure in mid. You know, he should be waiting for pressure. I'm just going to do a bit of damage to the Alistar. Near enough half health, so that's not bad for their engaging tank, or one of them. Or, no, he is their engaging tank. So that's not bad. Infernal Dragon is up again in a minute. We're going to look for potentially a pick. I see him here, and I remember this situation. Yeah, that was a mistake. I don't think the enemy team spotted it, but that is a bad mistake. Also, the enemy team didn't know I was here. It's just the way of it. I'm doing a lot of damage, but, you know, unfortunately, a lot of them just walk in that area. Diana's doing good damage, but doesn't get a kill. So really unfortunate that we do a lot of damage. Tryndamere's nearly dead. Alistar's nearly dead. Yasuo is nearly dead. We don't quite finish one off. It's unfortunate, but it, you know, it does happen. So these two, what you should also be looking to do partially, nice Everfrost take by them, is there's the Evelyn. You should be partially looking to group when an Evelyn's in the game. So Draven spots the weakness here. I don't know why the Evelyn didn't flash. She is very squishy. That's what, you know, the defense that you'll always hear an Evelyn player when they're talking about Evelyn going, oh, Evelyn's fine. she's really squishy. She is. Like, that's the thing. She is squishy, but you really have to abuse that. If she mispositions, she's out of position, you have to go for it. And by the way, notice this over here. If that's not a raging Evelyn, I don't know what it is. So that's a really good sign for us that this Evelyn's mental has gone boom. And, you know, she's still really fed. And is it surprising to me? No, because it's a Medjai's champion. A Medjai's champion that starts doing bad. She had 25 stacks at one point in this game. She now probably has 0. That's really tilting for Evelyn players. It truly is. So Dragon is now spawning. So this is likely going to be giving us the Infernal Dragon Soul. I will say, obviously, that's good practically for every single champion. But that's really good for Brand. Like, big damage, dot damage happening over the top. Like, it's pretty damn good. I haven't really mentioned anything about my build. Viger doesn't get a pick there. Tryndamere, I'm just ulting on top. Chain CC. Dot's going on top of. He's going to get burnt away. And yeah, the enemy team is now struggling. You can see the Evelyn, I believe, has now quit, you know. And I will say, I didn't notice, like, how early on this Evelyn did this. Is she just standing? I'm going to actually check. Yeah, so she's quit the game. She has rage quit. So it's kind of a typical Evelyn player. You know, I'm not trying to be harsh, but it is. Evelyn, I would put in kind of the same category as a Draven player. It's a very high risk, high reward strategy. And if it doesn't work, that's where their mentals can be a bit tested. Some Draven players, I will say, weird. There's no really middle ground with Dravens. This Draven was actually really nice. You know, I'm going to say that his attitude was nice. He didn't do anything toxic. He was actually pretty nice. And then you get the completely opposite Dravens that obviously are the other end of the spectrum of nice. That's it. There's no middle ground Dravens. And ladies and gentlemen, there is the game. So yeah, very nice. So what I'll do now is I'll edit. I'm going to skip because I don't want to show you my match history. I want to avoid obviously the upcoming games that are coming up. So I'll skip right now to the damage done. So welcome to the outro. So I just thought I'd go over a couple things before I show you the damage. So we went 12, 7, 14 this game. Very happy with that. But just something that I noticed, because I did not know during this game that the Evelyn was kind of trolling. Hell, I didn't even know that she went AFK because naturally you could think of like, oh, Evelyn is stealth nearby and she's just not finding an opportunity to go in. So we didn't actually know that she was AFK. Well, clearly this is a player that knows what they're doing is bad. They know AFKing on the fountain is bad, but clearly they're a player that doesn't want to get banned. Why? Because notice that they've bought items. So they were standing AFK for a good few minutes, buying all those rage items, but by the end of the game where everybody's looking at the outro, oh, she doesn't have troll items. So clearly this is an Evelyn that may have some rage issues, clearly, and, you know, has enough rage issues to try and hide the fact that she has rage issues. So also worth mentioning, we had the second most gold in the game. Draven did actually get the most gold in the game. Clearly, you know, the champion also gets higher payouts for occasional kills, and also bounties can alter that amount as well. But also, I just say, I don't know how in this replay format, how much it came across that we were doing a lot of damage. You know, unfortunately, the footage, as I said, became corrupt, and that doesn't happen often, but it does. But we were doing a lot of damage. You know, most team fights were getting a full combo off. We were even doing some decent burst damage this game. So just to kind of show the carry performance of why this video is probably called something along the lines of like my best carry performance on Brand or something. Boom. So there is my damage done. So absolutely ridiculous damage. Near enough double damage most people on my team. Way higher damage than anybody else on the enemy team. It's just kind of crazy. Like, should a support be allowed to do that? You know, technically a gold-starved role? I'm not sure. You know, Brand obviously is a bit of sometimes an exception because, you know, he's gold-starved like other supports, but he has a passive that is doing percentage health damage. So you are doing percentage health damage, which scales into the late game without any items. So there is partially that too. But I was very happy with this game. So if you guys enjoyed the performance, again, apologies that it wasn't a POV or a live commentary. Again, nothing I can really do with the footage. Please do throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. I've got hiccups, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Call down the reckoning.